to whomever, anyway, to whoever is listening, hi, it's been a while. So, let's get right into it. Chapter 1057, Final Curtain. I mean, I'm sure that means that the whole Wano arc structure kabuki play is finally over and we'll see the curtain closing. On the cover page, Caesar Clown attacks with poison gas, but since Reiju is there, she should be able to nullify it. I'm interested to see where this shit goes because I have a sneaking suspicion that it's gonna lead us to the most mysterious figure in all of One Piece. The Yeti Cool Brothers. No, of course I mean Dr. Vegapunk. But those Ape Titan cosplayers are linked somehow. Anyway, let's keep this. We open up with the overview of the Wano capital. Who would have thought? Storm echoes, the roar of the Azure Dragon. D always brings a storm. D, dragon, weather. Dragon is a D who controls the weather. This can only mean one thing. D was dragon all along. But then, Luffy's dad would be Monkey Dragon. We are listening to Komurasaki's samisen playing. And the song about the triumphant victory of the samurai over the joint force of Kaido, Orochi, and that big bitch. Oh, wait, actually, we see a play. I would assume this is a kabuki play. So we're seeing a kabuki play inside a kabuki play. The whole Wano structure, and shit. Inside a manga. Inside a magazine. Alright, next. Oh shit. Yamato is actually going to stay. Don't fucking tell me that means... Oh no. Yamato has a very good reason for this. It's because Oden started his journey, inside Wano first. And then jumped on the ship of the future Pirate King. Or now, the past Pirate King. That's, nice and all, but would Yamato find another chance to get on the ship? Not very likely. I guess we'll see Yamato again in the final war, joining forces with the Straw Hats, and all the other alliances. We then have a brief flashback from Momo's point of view, because he thinks that Luffy and the crew ghosted him or snubbed him, as he says. And now he's reminiscing about the good old times, like every One Piece fan. First we see their first meeting, where Luffy declared that he's going to be the Pirate King, and Momonosuke that he'll become the Shogun of Wano. And here we are today. He achieved his goal a lot sooner than Luffy, but he was also a lot closer, since he was the rightful heir to the throne. So yeah, we start on Punk Hazard with the introduction, and then we see the scene at Zoo where the alliance was formed, and then on Wano, where Momonosuke goes through his puberty on a speedrun and actually goes against Kaido and faces his biggest fears. So we see an abridged version of the maturity of Momonosuke as a character, figuratively, but also literally. I mean, he is still a kid. Momonosuke, meanwhile, is trying to rationalize why would they live without saying goodbye, And it's interesting to see that, like Kinemon points out, he is not actually flying. He's running on the ground. So I guess that symbolizes that he's still afraid. He hasn't really overcome his fears, like the fear of heights. Although with the encouragement of Luffy and Yamato, we saw that in the war, he was able to briefly prevail against those fears. So he still has work to do, but as we said before, inside, he's still a child. I do like that Kinemon is ready to fight for his master and going against Luffy, ready to die. But I would be brave too if I was immortal like Kinemon. We see the ships of the Supernova there, Luffy, Law and Kid setting sail, and Momonosuke arriving in the nick of time, like Vivi and Karu back in Alabasta. Not really. Momonosuke jumps on Luffy, finally breaks down, and that expression reminds me of Usopp back in Water 7 when he was crying, trying to get back on the ship, apologizing for all that shit with the Mary and fighting Luffy and stuff. And in a similar manner here, Momonosuke begs Luffy to stay behind. It's a pretty touching scene, seeing Momonosuke break down, acknowledging the fact that he survived because of Luffy and that he's afraid of the future, like all of us, I guess. Zoro, seeing Momonosuke like that, since he was his samurai sensei, is hurt deeply in his own way. Zoro can't help himself and rubs it in. Luffy says that they were waiting for Momonosuke actually on the ship because they had this huge straw hat flag to give him as a gift, as a poster for the Wano Palace. But also probably, if it's on the outside and it's visible to the onlookers, I guess in a way this makes Wano Luffy's territory. Not in a way actually, because he specifically says after that this is a symbol to let everyone know that if they screw with Wano, they are messing with the Straw Hats. Like the protection that the Whitebeard pirates provided in their affiliated countries and stuff. But he also says that when times are tough, look at that shit, you'll get inspired. Luffy also says to all of them, meaning Kinemon, Yamato and Momonosuke, if any of them wanna be pirates in the future, they are welcome to the crew. But of course, we don't allow weaklings on board. The crew sets sail. Momonosuke, with his newfound strength, announces that he will surpass his father, and we're back on those moments on the ship before the new adventure. So of course, the crew depends on Nami to navigate and get them to the next island. So she says, let's get to the biggest port, you know, so we can take the safest route. Like all the other times in the story, right? Kid teases Luffy and Law for being pussies going the safe route, while he likes danger. He's a man, even though his name is Kid. Luffy and Law, of course, are mature enough to not fall for such easy tricks. Psych! They just fucking jump from the waterfall on the cliff. And on this picture it seems like the kid's ship is twice the size of the other two. It's like the other two combined. Then the narrator comes in to hype them up. But actually it's all part of the play, it seems, that we were watching before. A motherfucker there spoils the whole plot of Wano. And we get the details of Orochi's death. Orochi saying that his family grudge, the Kurozumi, shall continue to curse Wano generation after generation forever and ever and ever. A darker form of the inherited will concept. The narrator there said that, but Hiyori did not falter. He stared Orochi down until he burned to a crisp and he became charcoal, which is what Kurozumi means. To have a little parallel with Oden when he said that I'm Oden and I was born to boil. Hiyori now declares that the Kurozumi were born to burn. That's not a very nice thing to say, especially if you want to break the cycle of hatred. In addition to Orochi burning to death, as far as we know, Kanjuro also died in the fire, right? Of course, we did have two other Kurozumis in the story that we saw in Orochi's past, Higurashi and Semimaru, but we don't know how they died. Kaido said that he took care of Higurashi. It says here that a shocking truth is revealed. What am I missing? And that concludes the tale of Wano, and the curtains finally close. Now that the arc is officially over, I would like to go through some things, some plot lines that weren't addressed, but maybe would be in the future. Of course, and I'm tired to fucking say it again, Big Mom and Kaido's situation, let's say, are they alive? And if so, how? How did they survive? What's their role moving forward? Now, if they're dead, we still would have to see them, I guess, to confirm. But it would be, I think, an underwhelming ending for Big Mom especially. Kaido did have a 150 chapter arc and his glorious moments. Big Mom, on the other hand. Speaking of Kaido, what was he exactly? Wasn't he an Oni? What are Onis? And what's the deal with Onigashima? You know, that in the past it had a different name. And also, what about Toki and her time travel ability? You mean to tell me that she actually died? And we had that scene in Oden's past where we saw a scar in her leg that was supposed to be the identifier if we saw her in the present, I thought at least. And you know, being from the Void Century, she would have quite an interesting backstory and tales to say. And saving the best for last, the most important one of all, who's who? but trust in Oda, and I'm hyped to go on a new adventure. So, see you then next week.